Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to reveal something I've never shared in detail before. The exact formula I used to practice English every single day until speaking and understanding the language became natural for me. Now, before you think this is just another list of tips or a boring lecture, let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt like you were studying English, maybe even for years, but your speaking didn't really improve? Maybe you learned new words, maybe you understood grammar, but when it was time to talk, your mind went completely blank. If that sounds familiar, don't worry. You're not alone. I was there too. What changed everything for me was not a magic teacher, not an expensive course, not even living in an English-speaking country. It was a daily routine, something I now call my secret formula, that allowed me to turn practice into a natural part of my life. And in today's video, I'm going to share that full routine with you, step by step. No secrets held back. Stick with me until the end, because I promise that if you apply even half of this, your English will feel smoother, more confident, and more natural in just a few weeks. Section 1. Why daily practice matters. Let's start with a simple truth. Language is a skill, not just knowledge. That means learning English is less about how much you know and more about what you can do with it. Think about it. You can read 100 grammar books and memorize thousands of words, but if you don't use them daily, your brain won't be ready when it's time to speak. Imagine a musician. Would you expect a guitarist to play beautifully if they only practiced once a week? Of course not. The same is true for English. Fluency comes from daily contact, not occasional effort. Now, you don't need hours and hours. I started with just 30 minutes a day, but those 30 minutes were powerful because I used them the right way. And that's what I'm going to show you now, the structure, the balance, and the secret tricks that made all the difference. Section 2, the secret formula overview. Here's the big picture of my daily routine. I divided my practice into 3 parts. Input, feeding my brain with English through listening and reading. Output, training my mouth and brain to produce English through speaking and writing. Reflection, reviewing, adjusting, and making sure I was improving every day. That's it. 3 simple steps. Input, output, reflection. But the way I practiced each of these is what made it effective. Let's break it down. Section 3, input. Feeding my brain with English. The first part of my formula was input. Every day, I made sure English entered my brain naturally. That meant listening and reading, but not in a boring way. I started with listening because speaking well begins with hearing well. I would listen to podcasts, YouTube videos, or even TV shows in English. The secret here was to choose material I actually enjoyed. Not just English learning material, but real, authentic content. Interviews, stories, even stand-up comedy. First, it was difficult. I didn't understand everything, but I had a rule. I didn't need to understand every single word. I just needed to get the main idea. Over time, my ears started to recognize patterns, common phrases, and natural rhythm. Then came reading. I would read articles, short stories, or even social media posts in English. I didn't use a dictionary every time I found a new word. Instead, I tried to guess the meaning from the context. Later, if a word appeared again and again, I would look it up. This combination of listening and reading gave my brain constant exposure to the language, like a child growing up surrounded by English. Section 4, output, training my mouth and brain. The second part of my formula was output. This is where most learners struggle because they're afraid of making mistakes. But here's what I learned. Fluency comes from speaking a lot, not from speaking perfectly. Every day, I had a mini speaking session. Sometimes it was just me talking to myself about my day. For example, while brushing my teeth, I would think in English. Today, I need to finish my project. After that, I'll meet my friend. simple, natural thoughts. Other times, I practiced shadowing. That means I would listen to a podcast or video and repeat what I heard, almost like an echo. This improved my pronunciation, rhythm, and confidence. When I had a little more time, I recorded myself speaking about a topic. Then I listened to the recording and noticed where I got stuck. Did I forget a word? Did my grammar feel awkward? This helped me identify areas to improve. For writing, I kept a short daily journal. Just a few sentences about what happened that day. Not perfect grammar, not fancy vocabulary, just simple, honest English. Over time, my writing became smoother, and I noticed patterns I could also use in speaking. Section 5, Reflection. The power of review. The third part of my formula was reflection. This step is often ignored, but it's extremely powerful. At the end of each week, I asked myself 3 questions. What did I learn this week? What mistakes did I make most often? How can I improve next week? This process helped me track my progress and stay motivated. It also made my practice more efficient because I focused on the areas that really needed attention. For example, if I noticed I was always forgetting past tense verbs, I would spend the next week paying extra attention to them. If I struggled with pronunciation, I'd add more shadowing practice. Reflection turned my practice from random effort into a clear, targeted system. Section 6, Overcoming Challenges. Now, I know what you're thinking, but what if I don't have time? Or what if I feel lazy? Here's the truth. I didn't always feel motivated. Some days I wanted to skip, but I created systems to make it easier. I kept my podcasts downloaded on my phone so I could listen while walking or commuting. I set small goals like just 5 minutes of shadowing. Often, 5 minutes turned into 20. I tracked my streaks. Seeing 10 days, then 30 days, then 60 days of daily practice gave me pride and pushed me forward. The secret is not discipline. It's designing your environment so practice becomes natural. Section 7, The Results I Saw. After just a few weeks of this routine, I noticed changes. I could understand podcasts more easily. My sentences came out faster with fewer pauses. I started thinking in English without forcing myself. After a few months, friends told me I sounded more confident. Conversations felt smoother. I could express ideas I once thought were too difficult. And after a year, English didn't feel like a foreign language anymore. It felt like a part of me. This transformation didn't happen because I studied for hours. It happened because I practiced a little every single day, using the formula of input, output, and reflection. Section 8, How you can apply this formula. Now let's talk about you. How can you start using this formula today? Here's a simple plan you can follow. 10 minutes of input. Listen to something you enjoy in English, or read a short article. 10 minutes of output. Speak about your day, shadow a video, or write a short journal entry. 5 minutes of reflection. Review what you learned and what you want to focus on tomorrow. That's only 25 minutes. If you can do more, great. But even if you only do this, you will improve faster than you think. The key is consistency. 1 day of practice won't change you. But 30 days? 60 days? That's where the magic happens. Conclusion, call to action. So, my friends, that is my secret formula. Daily input, daily output, and daily reflection. Simple steps, but when practiced consistently, they can transform your English completely. If you've been struggling to become fluent, I want you to remember this. Fluency is not about talent or luck. It's about building habits. And you now have the exact formula to do it. If this video gave you value, please give it a like. It really helps the channel grow and reach more learners like you. And if you want more practical routines, tips, and motivation for your English journey, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being committed to your English journey, and I'll see you in the next video.